Hey, Bob, I want to ask something real quick, going back to something earlier, if that's okay with everybody. I'm just curious, do you have any thoughts on or concerned about the upgrade to Core on Friday?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I will not run it. I will not run it.
Okay, I was just curious. So are a
Yeah,
lot of people not running it that you know?
correct.
I'm not
Yes.
running.
Yeah. Well, about I'd say 20% of the market already moved to knots. That's right. It's not core versus knots, but I think concern over core has caused 20% of the market to move to knots or thereabouts. I think you'll see the most people just not upgrade. I think you'll have there might be 10% or so that are ardent core supporters, and they'll probably upgrade. But yeah, I don't. There's no need to upgrade. I'll put it that way. There's nothing happening in that I have any concern about, and I think it's a net negative. And so my recommendation is hold tight. And there's a lot of us that are the same. Samson Mao, Jimmy Song, Jeff Booth. We're all in the same camp. George is in the camp with us. There's a whole bunch of us that are. Nick Szabo has even come out of the woodwork to in support of that strategy. And by the way, Knots is a great implementation, and as a miner, guy who runs mining companies, it is better than Core for what I do. But it may or may not be better if you're running version 25 or something like that of Core on a node. My recommendation is just keep doing that. Don't.
I want to weigh in on this before you go, Gary, because I have concerns, and I mentioned this earlier. And Bob doesn't maybe have the same level of concern that I do, but I do have concerns. And he's already aware of the example that I'm going to bring up right now, which is that BSV, Satoshi's Vision, which is basically a failed fork of Bitcoin Cash, which is a failed fork of Bitcoin. They did the exact same thing that they're going to do tomorrow on Friday. That is Core releasing or upping the op return limit from 80 or 83 bytes, depending upon how you view it, to 100,000 bytes. What the hell do you think happened to BSV within a very short period of time? I'm sure Bob can tell you. They ended up with images on there that are just shit. Just picture something to happen to some little kid, and then imagine that on your node's RAM or disk temporarily, although not always temporarily. And every time you verify, if you're an archival node, if you're a full node and you verify the data, you know what? That's on there for fucking forever. And so I do have concerns about it.
Well, how could, what this big is the Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin and all that hell was, how could they not foresee what could happen? I mean, that confuses me.
Before I let Bob step in, I want to say something, which is, how did I start this podcast? I said, I've lost faith. I've lost trust. I don't. And again, I've already told you as an example, just get on there and start doing some research into the actual core maintainers, the 5 of them. And you will find some things that are disconcerting. And you'll also find that much of it is very obscure. I would put forward that we are dealing with developers who are playing FAFO, fuck around and find out, and that they're doing it with the most important monetary invention in the history of mankind. And it is something that not just has to last for 1,000 years, but I mean it when I say I think it is the lifeline over the next 3 to 5 years for us to escape the digital world that's being built for us. So it's pretty damn important.